So, hello and welcome to our webinar, Device of Data Products. I'm very happy to see, or at least hear, so many of you in this webinar because it's an important topic to me and it looks like also to you. And as we are so many people, we have muted you all so that we don't have any background noise. But we still want to engage with you, so we would be very happy if you could answer your Q&As in the little box with the question mark on the top of the navigation. Ask us everything. We will answer it during the session as well as afterwards in a Q&A session. We also will ask you in a poll later on your opinion. So stay tuned to share your message. My name is Lars Milde and I'm the host for today. In my day job, I'm leading the marketing and alliances team of One Data. One Data is an innovative German software company. Our software enables data experts to build, manage, and share high-quality data products. By using our software, companies can bridge the last mile between IT and business and get more trusted data into the hand of the business users. We at One Data are fully convinced that treating data as a product will be fundamental for all companies who want to work data-driven. We see data products as the mission-critical foundation for all modern decentralized data management initiatives, like for instance, data mesh. It's fair to say that we are passionate about data products. And when I saw Carsten presenting at his last retreat his 10-year cycle theory, I had three thoughts. Thought one was, I'm getting old because I have seen the most cycles he presented myself, and this is a sign. The second thought was, but cool, looks like there is a new great wave to ride, and I'm part of it. And the third thought was, we should share this with a broader audience, and this is why we are here now. So with this, I want you to introduce you to the two main presenters of the webinar, Carsten Bange, founder and CEO of BARC, and his colleague Florian Bingelmeier, analyst for data and analytics at BARC. Carsten, Florian, many thanks for taking the time today. I'm looking forward to some flashbacks, but also some interesting insights about the world of data products. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Lars. It's a great pleasure to be here and talk about this super exciting topic, data products. And thank you for the introduction. I think no further things to say. We are happy to be here and also, give you a bit of an overview and introduction to data products. And we wanted to do it in a way that we wanted to start with a broader observation, the trend to decentralization, which actually has happened before. And after that, we would really like to drill down into data products. So what is it? What types are there? How do they look like? And then also talk about data marketplaces, which is a great place to share data products, to know what's available, and so on. I want to finish it with a short view on just a few tips on how to get started with data products. Without further ado, let's dive into this. And yes, Lars, I've seen many of these cycles too. My own career started in the 1990s. And my observation is, after looking at this market of data and analytics, we called it business intelligence during that time, is that we have this trends towards centralization or decentralization about every 10 years. It was quite striking when I looked at it, that there actually is a pattern. Decentralization means we have a focus on business user with flexible tools at the desktop, and centralization is really more about central platforms. So enterprise platform and self-service are typically the two maybe terms to give to this trend. And this is meant, by the way, organizationally and technically. And we think that this actually goes together in the same rhythm. Let's take a look at that. Today, we are we think we are starting a new wave towards more decentralization, towards more self-service. We are more or less right in a big cloud wave, which is technically centralized, but we also see more platform approaches right now. And our prediction would be that we are now moving back to a more self-service oriented world because we've seen it before. It happens like in history, things repeat themselves. Now look, let's take a bit of a closer look at these ideas I have here. First of all, we have to say the names obviously changed over the years, but the ideas remained always the same. So in the 1990s, we talked about OLAP. We are coming out of a, let's say, quite early stage of computing where the host was more or less the dominating technical architecture. And OLAP first meant as a modeling technique. Yeah? So OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. It was a modeling technique brought forward by Mr. Cott, and he put it in contrast to OLTP, yeah? So Online Transaction Processing. What was meant as a modeling technique pretty soon ended in technology, so-called multidimensional databases. And they offered users a new and unique flexibility to actually build and control their own data models. Yeah, this didn't have to be done by an IT department in a relational database or even in a host database. And this really, for me, was the first wave of self-service. Then in the 2000s, we had the big wave of web technology. Super new, the internet basically was really moving ahead. And this was more really centralized approaches. Yeah, so we needed central web servers, and behind those servers, we are basically building then centralized data warehouses, typically to support any type of data analytics decision making. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen the wave of self-service BI. So this idea took place once we saw that the centralized paradigms in web technology were starting to getting too slow to hinder innovation, and users demanded more flexibility, and that ended in the self-service BI wave. We came back to SaaS analytics, to cloud-based technology, again building more platforms because self-service in many organizations got a bit out of hand, ended a bit in chaos. And then both users and the responsible persons for data analytics said, well, okay, this is a great idea, but we actually need to introduce more governance again. We need to basically come back to data platforms that are bigger, more centralized. And right now, I think we see a new wave coming. We maybe don't have a name yet for it, but I will share a few thoughts on that pretty soon. What I would like to highlight here is that the technology innovation has basically happened in the same cycles. Yeah? So maybe this need for more flexibility, for more independence in a decentralized way for the users, maybe that was supported by a technology, or maybe it was driven by it. Both is possible, and I'm sure it actually went back and forth in a way. Yeah. So technically, we started with hosts, very, very centralized compute resources. Yeah. Then in the 1990s, the first time we had enough computing resources on a client that we could actually do some meaningful things there. So that was the big era of client-server computing, driven by the possibilities to do something on the client, which enabled business users in a decentralized way to actually start to work with data. And the first also new software vendors appeared. Yeah, while, for example, in the host world, one leading vendor was, for example, ComShare. Then in the client-server world, we had new vendors appearing and dominating that market, like Holos, like Cognos, like Arbor S-Base, yeah, and so on. So that was a new era for decentralized data analytics. The web architecture, again, brought this more centralized approach, bigger platforms. Yeah, so software vendors appeared that were building these bigger platforms. Yeah, and here again, we had new market leaders appearing, like MicroStrategy, Business Objects, and others. Yeah? And then in memory, desktop computing enabled a new wave of self-service BI. Yeah? So at this time, we didn't not only have enough compute resources on the desktops, but also enough in memory space, which then enabled unprecedented speed, for example, in querying data and running BI. And again, new market leaders, pretty quickly rising up to $1 billion software revenue, like Qlik, like Tableau, And the last one in this wave surely was Power BI, riding the self-service wave. Now, we are building platforms right now, SaaS-based, cloud-based platforms. That's the typical paradigm. If you look at architecture, it's often in a lakehouse style, but this is pretty much the current paradigm. And again, the big question is, I'm pretty sure we will go back to self-service. We already see the first signs of it. We see more and more companies being quite unhappy with their centralized architectures and technology. So again, same story. Yeah, we need more flexibility, we need more scalability, we need more speed and agility. So we are moving back to more decentralized ways. An observation is that what we see right now, the big move or the big wave of generative AI, if you look at what the capabilities and features are here, I have to say it offers a lot of flexibility and autonomy for users, yeah, which is quite typical feature of self-service solutions. Yeah, so probably this will be a technology innovator in a way, or enabler for new self-service capabilities. I completely understand we need a lot of server power here, but still, yeah, it's an observation. And I predict the height of the wave, the tip of the wave, basically being around 2030. And as we all know, things are happening so quickly here in this space that we most probably will not talk about Gen AI anymore, but about the newest and latest things happening. I just want to share another observation. If I looked at the more organizational need for centralization, decentralization. I looked at the technology that enabled it or maybe even drove it. But also in data management, I think it's an interesting observation to see that the main paradigm typically was very centralized. So the data warehouse, the data lake of the 2010s, the lakehouse paradigms are definitely centralized architectures. Yeah? So their key idea is bring our data to one place. What we're discussing today is moving towards a data fabric. So more, again, decentralized, more metadata driven, more flexible way to be able to access data without having it to move to one place. So here, I think for the first time in the history of data analytics, we are seriously discussing a more decentralized paradigm or architecture approach. What we also see, data mesh, very, very popular. We see it as so popular that we even run an own conference just on the data mesh concept and the first approaches of companies and their experiences around it. But data mesh gave a lot of these decentralization trends a name. And one of the things we are seeing, and I think this is now the answer to this question mark, is we think that data products right now is what's being done. It's driving a self-service way to use data in a better way. So all this together means what we are seeing right now is organizationally with data mesh, we have a big driver towards decentralization. Technically, with data fabric, we have an enabler to actually also in large scale heterogeneous data architectures and data environments to enable decentralization. And with data products, we have the concept to share data in a more decentralized way. So this is my basically observation. I called it the 10-year cycle theory because it's a theory. It's just an observation how things are happening, but that patterns are actually repeating. And this is obviously not the only place where this is happening in history. So data mesh gives a name to trends in decentralization. It's such a strong topic right now that I just wanted to highlight that data as a product obviously is a key concept. But I also want to highlight that you can build data products without a data mesh. So you can build data products, for example, in a purely centralized organization, no problem at all. But the data mesh combines this with the idea also of an organizational decentralization, which is really highlighted with the idea of a domain-oriented ownership of data and data products. Yeah? The enabler has to be a self-service data platform, a self-service because we want to decentralize it. And all this needs to be governed. Yeah? We learned in the last wave, the self-service BI wave, that we cannot have no governance. So we need to do something. And the idea in the data mesh is to do it in a federated way with a computational governance, so trying to automate as many tasks as possible. So this might give a bit of the framework and also align the different concepts we are seeing here. So data product is a key component of a data mesh, an organizational concept, but can also stand alone, but is in a longer history of this move between centralization and decentralization. And for me, it's the tip of the spear in a way for the next wave of decentralization. Now, let's take a closer look at data products and what they actually are. Florian, over to you.
Thank you. So as we are now heard why data products are so important and why they are matching so well with the current trend of decentralization, a definition definitely helps to understand what data products are. So first of all, data products are based on a created and reusable data set. That means that even if you're talking about a source data product, it's definitely a selected data set and it's definitely reusable for different use cases. Data products are designed to deliver trusted data for downstream consumers. That means that the data you provide in data products is always or should be of high quality, and the consumers should be able to trust on those data. Metadata usually accompanies data products. Metadata are really helpful because it simplifies for the data consumers to find and also use data products in their usual environment. And data as a product philosophy definitely enables data product thinking and initiatives, and we will come to that in a second. Lastly, I want to emphasize that data products are always targeted towards a specific purpose. So while we now saw that data products have different characteristics, product thinking is definitely a key driver of data products. On the one hand, desirability is one of the key points that is important for data products. On the one hand, you can see that user centricity helps to create desirable data products, but also feedback and feedback-driven processes around data products help to create data products that are desired by users or consumers. Feasible data products are data products that are available, that have a good cost-benefit ratio, that are governed and compliant, and that are scalable. Lastly, it's of course important that the data products are valuable for your company. So they are relevant in the sense of the company goals, and also the quality of the data products is given. So let's come now to some types of data products we could find out there. And there are basically two main categories. On the one hand, we can see pure data products, and on the other hand, enhanced data products. Pure data products are, for example, source-aligned data, merge domain data, and consumer-aligned data. By seeing on the icons, you might already get a glance or an idea what we think they are, but I will come to an example in a second. Decision support data products, applied algorithms, services applications are great examples for enhanced data products. And to give you a better idea what we mean with these types of data products, we pointed down there an example of a sales domain in a company and their customer and sales data. So you can see that sales data, CRM customer records, webshop customer data are examples for source-aligned data. If you merge customer data from CRM and webshop, you might end up with merged customer data. And sales KPIs, for example, great to depict what consumer-aligned data are about. They are created to serve a specific purpose on the data consumer end. If you're talking about decision support data products, sales dashboards definitely show that we want to support decision support or decision processes with, for example, dashboards, visualizations, etc. Customer classification models are an example for applied algorithms, and an app for a smartphone that is used within your organization using data from your sales domain is an example for services and applications. On the bottom, you can see that from left to right, the complexity and logic within those types of data products is increasing. Nevertheless, a source-aligned data product or a merge domain data product might also be of great value depending on the use case. So as I told before, data marketplaces are definitely also one key point to create a sustainable data product initiative. Why that? Because you have three main jobs a data marketplace usually does. And these are data discovery, data access, and data collaboration. Data discovery means that every data consumer and business user in your company can find the data products within your organization. Data access means that by logical and technical terms, everyone can access the data products. And data collaboration means that especially around reviewing, commenting, and collaborating in any way, your data marketplace supports your data product initiatives. On the left and the right top of the slide, you can see two domains. These domains are business domains in your company, and each of these, there's also domain C and D, of course, can provide and consume data products across or within the data marketplace. On the bottom, you can also see that external participants might participate in your data marketplace. This is, of course, upon your company's policies and goals, and you might have some selected data products that are relevant for external participants and others that are not. Something I definitely also want to share around the collaboration between the domains and the data products and consumers is that apart from data marketplaces, there are data contracts. These data contracts help to govern and to manage the expectations data product owners and consumers have around data products. Also, data policies or policies in general around data products help to get a good governance around data product initiatives. And lastly, something that also falls in the domain of data collaboration on the bottom right here in the slide is the feedback that is shared between the data product consumers and owners to improve on data products on the long term. So before we now come to our Q&A, I definitely want to give some tips how to get started with data products. Firstly, set the foundations. That means that in your company, there should be a good understanding of data products. It should be the data product initiative should match the business needs, and there should be a good scope and purpose of your initiative that matches with the business needs actually. Operationalizing and innovating means that allocate the roles and responsibilities, that you develop and refine your infrastructure if needed, and that the data product development process is also set up and works. Governance is definitely also a point that helps to make to come to a sustainable data product environment. And lastly, excitement is definitely a key factor for data products. If you have a organization with at least individuals, in best case, a complete organization that is behind your data product initiative, you definitely have a better chance to make your initiative successful, to have data products that are desired, to make your business domains share their data products, and to draw the maximum use of your data products. And with that, I want to give back to Lars, and we are looking forward to your opinions.
Thanks, Carsten, and thanks, Florian, for this great insight. So it looks like data products is something we should pay attention to. To get an understanding what the audience thinks about, we have prepared one question about what they think is their current state of data products, and we want to launch the poll now. Good. So it would be great if you can press the button and let us know if your company already has adopted the concept of data products. Cool. So it looks like that we have some early adopters who already are data product experts, and I assume some of them will be employed with One Data. But we also have a majority of people who are just starting with the concept and testing the water. And while you're doing this, I want to offer you some help. So as I mentioned before, we at One Data, we are very passionate about data products. And in this direction, we have developed our software, and it's called AI-powered data product builder, because we think if you go in this direction of data products, you need a tool which helps you to govern and manage this whole process. So as you could see on the slide, and we will share more information on demand later on, is we have developed a platform which helps you to manage the whole process around building, managing, and sharing data products in a very easy and fast way. We have AI assistance all around the different capabilities, and we have a very unique and intuitive interface which helps you to manage this data and share it around. If you want to see this, we will offer later on the opportunity to get a short demo and get more insights on how this works. If you can go to the next slide. And while you're thinking another new tool, I don't may need this. I just want to give you an overview how we would deploy it in your existing landscape. So I think we would leverage the investment you already made in all your data sources, transactional systems, and databases, as well in the front ends you may have already in-house and your business users love. And in the middle of this, we would deploy one data, get access to all your data sources, understand the metadata about it, what is in the data sources, get a landscape, understand the quality, and then be able to start from there to build this purpose-driven data products and share them on a marketplace where the business users can identify them, request them, and use them for their different use case. We see this as bridging the gap between IT and business and leverage more trusted data in different processes. Again, we are more than happy to show this to you in more detail. We also have a proven practice on how we do this. We have a set of workshops, a set of offers, which we use in certain cycles of the data product management or your journey towards a data product approach. We offer workshops, proof of values. We have training academy, and we also have a partner ecosystem which will help you to deploy the data products, to manage data products, to share best practices on how to do this. Again, ask us for help on this, but I want to show you that we have a cool tool, very intuitive way of working, and also a proven process on driving this. With this, let's go to the Q&A, and I want to remind you to enter some questions so that we can answer them. And maybe to get this started, I would have a question for Carsten and Florian, which would be, what would be the main benefits for central IT or data engineering teams to adopt the concept of data products? What would make this easier in their life, in their day-to-day routine?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it actually doesn't really matter whether you do it centralized or decentralized. It's now attached to the data mesh concept, but you can also run it centralized. What is the main benefit? It's actually a paradigm shift. It's changing a paradigm shift from running projects to building products. That's the key thing. As you know, a project is successful when you basically, as fully as possible, fulfill the requirements that have given to you. As we all know, this is pretty difficult in the data analytics context. Typically, you don't have all the requirements, they are changing quickly and so on. So projects in the D&A space have always been challenging, and this was also why we are promoting more and more these agile methodologies. But another feature of a project is a big problem, it has an end. So once you delivered whatever you were given to, building a dashboard, building a data set, whatever, then you're done. Yeah, maybe you hand it over to a run function or an operational function, but this is not the reality, which really works. Yeah? So a product is something different. Yeah? A product means you have, for example, end-to-end responsibility of a person, over building it, but also communicating a roadmap, bringing it to the market, marketing of the product, something that you often don't really have if you just do a project and finish it, and then you're successful with finishing it. But as we want to have an environment where things are adapting, where things are live, the features of a product with responsibility, modularity, marketing of a product, and so on and so on, are really key and the main benefits you have, no matter whether you build them centrally or decentrally.
Thank you. There are some more questions. I think first one we can answer very quickly. Are you sharing the slides afterwards? So the answer is yes. You will get an email with the recording as well with the slides, and we also will share the link towards the research note we have on this topic related to this webinar. There is another question, if is the data product builder a SaaS or an on-premise offering? I think I can answer this. We deploy on Kubernetes cluster. You can have this on-premise. You can have this in your cloud. We also can host this for you. So whatever you prefer, we can do. Then there is one question we will answer directly on if we work with certain customers. And then there's another question on how the data product builder integrates with existing data catalogs. I think that's a question which we also have to answer on a case-by-case basis. I think we have seen installments where we provide data to the catalog, cases where we pull data from the catalog. There could be a coexisting scenario. We have to look at the detailed situation. There's another question here. Does data product ownership apply to the analytical world only, or do you have seen involvement in operational source systems? I think could apply.
I have seen it.
Yep.
Could answer it. Yes, it's not only limited to the analytical world. I mean, what we called a source data product is very close typically to an operational world, and can also be used to, for comes to share it with other operational systems. So the whole concept is not limited to the analytical world.
Okay. And I could add to this, I think we see also cases where it's used as a baseline for data process mining, for machine learning processes and so on. So you can use this curated, trusted, purpose-built data set or data product for all kind of different tasks in your company. And I think the good thing is you produce it once and you can use it in different use cases. And it's not only limited to analytics cases. Good. There are some more questions. Can data products logically be seen as enhancements of data marts? I think that's a good question.
Enhancements of data marts? No. I see it differently. I think you can feed a data mart with data products. So I think it's a different layer, basically. A data product is, first of all, meant to actually share data, to provide data. We introduced the concept of enhanced data products. So if you want maybe a data in a certain data model, what we mean with a data mart, could also be a data product. But yes, I mean, for me, it would be a little bit far-fetched. But I mean, depends really on the definition.
There's another one. What's the role of the data warehouse and data lakehouse on this new paradigm?
Same answer. You can feed your data platforms, let's call it in a general way. You would basically use data products to feed them, or you generate data products with the data that you find there, and you benefit when you build the data products. You benefit really from that they are maybe quality assured, that they're already homogenized, transformed, whatever. And so you can use it also as a source to build data products.
Cool. There's some more questions. I think some are specific, but I think we are over time already. But it seems like that's a very interesting topic because we're getting a lot of interest. We have all the questions. We know who asked them. We will answer them one by one. We will forward them to Carsten and Florian for their input as well. So we will be in touch very quickly. So let me close this out with this. Florian, Carsten, thank you very much for sharing this. To all the attendees, thank you for spending your afternoon in Europe and your morning in the US with us. I hope you learned something, and I would be really interested to stay in contact to talk about data products and the development around this. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening or a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.